We are in the midst of this debate where the government is trying to imply, and the Intelligence Bureau is trying to imply, that activists who raise the concerns of Adivasis' rights or human rights in our country and take those issues outside the country are somehow anti-nationals. They say that it is anti-national for Greenpeace activists to go and speak to UK MPs to tell them to ensure that a UK company obeys India's laws and obeys international human rights standards. What is happening here really? I would say that actually there is an attempt to turn things upside down, to make what is truly anti-national look patriotic and vice versa. Let's see how that is happening. See, the government right now is arguing that it's okay for human rights activists to raise issues inside the country, but taking it outside the country is somehow wrong. Is that really true? Because if you look at it, there has been a report on the status of tribals in our country, which has been prepared by a very serious panel of experts and intellectuals and academics and activists. What has happened to that report? That report very clearly says that allowing Indian and foreign corporations to grab land is a government policy that has resulted in terrible devastation for the Adivasis in our country. It is an exhaustively, painstakingly prepared report. Has the government listened to this report? The report has been submitted to the Modi government, but the Modi government has suppressed this report. So it is clear that they don't want to hear this kind of news from even on indigenous platforms. The other question here is that the government has argued in the court in the Priya Pillai case that basically they know very well that Priya Pillai has already deposed by Skype. She can depose by Skype. Anyone can do that. They know that they are not going to succeed in actually preventing her from speaking to UK MPs. So the purpose, what is the purpose then? The purpose is actually to create an image, to create this you can say smoke screen. And that is where they get so much help even from some sections of the media in order to brand activists, in order to create make a fiction into fact. The fiction is that activists are basically anti-nationals. How is that happening? They have argued in the court that activists are like doodh mein makhi, which means that they're just flies and the government is not scared of little flies. But a fly can make the entire bowl of milk contaminated, and so we need to deal with them. Well, we have to say that we are proud to be the doodh mein makhi. We are proud to be the activists buzzing away noisily and not allowing the governments and the corporates to enjoy their bowl of cream while everyone else starves. We are very much proud of that, and that is precisely, I think they have put it very well in fact, that is precisely what bothers them. They want to silence us. Now the question is it really, who is the anti-national here? If you're allowing foreign corporations like Vedanta, like SR, like as well as Indian corporations to come into this country and loot the land of Adivasis and peasants and to exploit workers in our country, then and if the government is siding with them, and if the activists are actually raising the voice of the Adivasis of our country and the people of our country, then who is the anti-national here? Take one example. The government has been arguing that deposing before a foreign government's parliamentary panel is wrong. Well, a certain person called Arvind Subramaniam has been appointed as economic advisor by the government. Arvind Subramaniam, till 2 months before his appointment, had been deposing before the American Congress, arguing with, advising the Americans to take action in WTO against India. Why? Because he said in order to make India stop ensuring cheap medicines for our poor patients in the international property rights matter, intellectual property rights matter. So clearly somebody who is actually seeking sanctions against India and talking to US Congresses, advising them to act against India. This is considered wonderful by the Indian government. They actually bring him, they don't put him on a no-fly list. Arvind Subramaniam is not put on a no-fly list. He is put as India's economic advisor to be in the steering seat for India's economic policies. So clearly something else is at work here, and we need to say here that those who speak up for India's people against Indian and foreign corporations loot and against the government's company Raj that facilitates this loot are the true successors of India's freedom struggle. And those dissent is not disloyalty. In fact, dissent is something that makes your country people proud of you and the entire world proud of you. So be it Salman in India who may dissent and question the necessity of standing up during a national anthem, be it the activists of this country who are working among people and dissenting against their governments, be it Edward Snowden or Chelsea Manning who whistleblowers who exposed how their country, the United States of America, violates international and laws and norms. All of these people should be the heroes of the world. And I will just end by saying one thing, that the attempt to turn this truth upside down, the attempt to say that that the foreign corporations and the governments who act for them are patriotic, and those parties like BJP and Congress that take funding from Dow and Vedanta are patriotic. They take funding from those who kill Indian citizens and those who loot Adivasi land, but they are patriotic. But we who speak against it are somehow anti-national. In that context, we should really say what Habib Jalib did against the dictatorship in Pakistan, when he said that इस खुले झूठ को, जहन की लूट को मैं नहीं जानता, मैं नहीं मानता. I refuse to accept, I reject this open lie, this plunder of our reason. Let us not allow our reason to be plundered. Let us stand by the activists and the people's movements of this country and tell the government that it is they who are against the Indian people, not the activists.